Welcome to Kids Own Wisdom, facilitated peer group discussions for increasing kids' self motivated engagement with their own social, emotional, and life skills development. Hello, my name is Nini White, and I'm the founder of Kids Own Wisdom. Although sometimes I feel like Kids Own Wisdom found me. Maybe I'll explain that a little further on, but let's jump right into what you've come here to learn. First things first, can you think of a single person, young, old, or in between, who doesn't want to be happy? Of course, people have massively different ways of defining and finding happiness, but there are also a few commonly shared influences that can be relied upon to increase people's happiness and sense of self worth. So, when children are difficult, when they shut down on us, when they don't cooperate, when they're stubborn beyond all reckoning, even when they understand that they might be facing unpleasant consequences for their behavior, it's really important to consider what could be motivating them. Of course, there are many factors, many motivating factors, but oftentimes, very often really, kids don't feel they can be happy if they don't feel acknowledged for their own values and perspectives. Values and perspectives that have been forming within them long before they even had words to express themselves. And this is actually a well-researched area of study at major universities across the country. So if you're interested in that research, I can send links to you. Just email your request. Young kids' feelings are often intense. We've all experienced that. They understand quite a lot about what's going on around them, usually more than they're given credit for. And that might be because they don't always act like they understand, which can definitely be frustrating for us and for them. Of course, some of young children's feelings and understandings are biased, but not all of their feelings and understandings. So, always being told what to do, how to behave, what to think, and what to say does not generally improve young attitudes because that approach really goes against the grain of their emerging individuality. And so they just get better and better at tuning us out, which is pretty much the exact opposite of the relationship that does anyone any good anytime. So, unless new ways of interacting with kids are adopted, the chances of things magically getting better are slim. Wouldn't you agree? So, if kids want us to show them some respect by acknowledging that they know and understand quite a lot about what matters, then really, more listening and less talking is a very good place to start. Because listening to children is incredibly important. It builds mutual respect and it stabilizes their own hardwired connection to their own natural born empathy, their own natural born intuition, and their own natural born humane instincts. Building respect with young children when it's genuine and consistent changes behaviors and nourishes relationships. So, how do we recommend building respect with young children? We recommend bringing together groups of kids, the kids with challenging behaviors and their non-challenging peers, for peer group discussions. Why peer group discussions? Because kids are fascinated by each other, and when they participate in peer group discussions based on the kinds of questions that genuinely respect all the kids' intelligence, their personal experiences, and insights, they listen to, they pay attention to, and they relate to each other's answers. But only if the questions are broad enough so that no one ever feels singled out, because we never ever want any kids to feel defensive, because being on the defensive is a surefire way to get kids, and anyone really, to shut down. Instead, we use the kinds of questions that evoke kids' own hardwired capacity to empathize and to objectively decipher what's fair and what's not fair. Questions that intrigue kids enough to think about familiar situations in fresh ways. Questions that actually grab kids' attention, causing them to listen to each other, which increases their awareness of each other and how much they actually all have in common, or how much they can all learn from each other. And that element of shared discovery without lectures from the adults about how similarly they feel and understand life's challenges gradually dislodges barriers of isolation and increases a sense of belonging, something that has been shown beyond all doubt is a basic human requirement for happiness, which was the starting point for this short overview. Even though people have massively different ways of defining and finding happiness, there are a few reliable, commonly shared keys to increasing happiness. Among them, being seen, being heard, being acknowledged for one's point of view and unique contribution. And also, very importantly, a sense of belonging. With twice a week use, the easy to implement Kids Own Wisdom peer group discussions have been shown to positively impact both of those areas. Would you like to see what educators have to say about Kids Own Wisdom? If you want to just pause this for a moment to read these comments from educators, now would be a good time to hit that pause button. And then you could pause one more time, or not. So in conclusion, giving attention to kids when they're purposefully expressing their own intelligence, their own natural-born empathy, their own wisdom, and their own intuition, actually serves to stabilize those character-building elements of their individuality. In other words, they learn to trust those aspects of themselves, which is something that really needs to start happening in children's earliest years. Anything other than attention, like kudos or praise, is creating extrinsic, in other words, external rewards. And external rewards do not nurture grounded development because they tend to encourage kids to try to please others instead of staying connected to their own conscience, their own empathy, and their own natural-born wisdom. There is so much more we'd like to share with you about the Kids Own Wisdom approach, which includes validating research, our calendar of presentations at educational conferences, trainings for different educational environments, resources, and much more. Check out the website and send us an email with your questions. We would love to hear from you.